Let's welcome to the show Wisconsin Congressman Derrick Van Orden, also former Navy SEAL. Congressman, what's your reaction to this? The congressman seemed to laugh it off, and then she blamed the FBI for not catching the fraud in Minnesota.
Well, I think taking food out of hungry children's mouths is not a laughing matter. I don't care who you are. I was raised in abject rural poverty by a single mother. We had food stamps when it was actually a stamp you stuck on a card. I had subsidized school lunches and government cheese. And every single tax dollar that's allocated to feed a hungry child needs to go to a hungry child. And anybody who is diverting money for their own selfish intent needs to go to prison, period.
We counted 28 different frauds in Minnesota. And now SBA loan fraud from the out of the SBA also popped up in Minnesota. SBA loan money, the accusation is getting stolen. Senator Joni Ernst says the Trump administration should pull the plug on this. Biden expanded the SBA program. The senator is asking and urging 24 federal agents to halt funding for the SBA loan program. But what do you make of the fact that there are 28 different types of frauds inside Minnesota, and The Hill is reporting this could derail Governor Tim Walz getting reelected next year?
Well, the fact that they've found 28 instances of fraud means that they haven't looked hard enough.
Types of fraud, just different types of fraud.
Types of fraud. Well, I'm telling you what, I lived and worked in Djibouti, Africa, which shares a contiguous border with Somalia, for over 9 months. And it's populated by ethnic Somalis, Ethiopians, and Eritreans. And culturally, they're just different, meaning that they look at government as a way to get money and not to serve the people. So I have absolutely 100% confidence that these fraudsters are just that. And again, they're taking food out of hungry children's mouths. Now, as far as Tim Walz's political career, I mean, for Pete's sakes, Minnesota, they voted in Jesse Ventura for governor. So I don't know what the hell the people over in Minnesota right across the river are thinking. And I don't know if they're going to vote for Tim Walz regardless of what he does. Ilhan Omar is her base is Somali, and she is Somali. So as long as she's not convicted of a crime, she's going to be reelected to office in perpetuity. And that's Minnesota's problem to deal with. But we have to look at this. When you talk about federal dollars going to the state to be distributed that are being embezzled by citizens and then sent back to Al-Shabaab in East Africa, that is a real problem. That's actually providing material support to terrorism. And that is a federal crime. And people need to go to prison for this right now.
Okay, if it's found to be true. Congresswoman Omar and Democrats in Minnesota are attacking people if they object to the theft of taxpayer money. They're claiming racism when this is just garden variety greed and corruption. Let's listen to Dr. Oz here. He's a top health official in the Trump administration. Watch.
A Somali fraud ring in Minnesota stole over $1 billion from Medicaid. Governor Walz and the state's other Democrats rely on Somali votes to get elected, so they decided to look the other way because they were afraid of, quote-unquote, political backlash. Don't take my word for it. That's what a Somali-American fraud investigator told the New York Times. Some of these taxpayer funds may have even ended up in the hands of a Somalian terrorist group. Scary stuff. When CMS became aware of the housing program situation, Minnesota insisted it could clean up its own mess. A few months ago, it admitted it could not. Our message to Walz is clear. Either fix this in 60 days or start looking under your couch for spare change, because we are done footing the bill for your incompetence.
Dr. Oz is the chief of the CMS. Somalis are a huge voting bloc. The state's leaders were afraid that forcefully tackling that might alienate the Somali voter base for Democrats. That's the New York Times reporting that. Dr. Oz has pointed this out. Your reaction to that?
Dr. Oz is brilliant, and he knows exactly what he's talking about. And the Democrat playbook is to play rock, paper, racist. This is what they do, and they do this when they know that they're wrong, and they're trying to divert attention away.
Congressman Derrick Van Orden, thank you for your service to America as a former Navy SEAL. It's good to see you.